Good day everyone, welcome to my channel. Our topic for TLE Cookery 10 is storing poultry and game birds, evaluating the finished product. So this will be our topic for quarter 3 and module number 5. Our topic for lesson 1 is all about storing poultry and game birds. In storing, it allows food to be eaten for some time, typically weeks to months, after harvest rather than solely immediately. It is both a traditional domestic skill and, in the form of food logistics, an important industrial and commercial activity. Chicken should be stored at a temperature outside of the temperature zone in which bacteria that causes foodborne illness grow quickly. The danger temperature zone is a range between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Raw chicken can be stored in a refrigerator for several days. If it is not going to be used within the recommended time, it should be frozen to prevent it from perishing. Leftover cooked chicken should be wrapped tightly and refrigerated as soon as possible. Fresh poultry can be stored for 3 or 4 days at a temperature below 3 degrees Celsius. Game birds can be stored in the same way, but they are best used within 24 hours. Poultry is best kept on the bottom shelf of the cool room, which is coldest area, and arranged on drip trays to catch any juices that seep out during storage. These trays should be cleaned regularly as part of your ongoing kitchen hygiene. Storage time for poultry and game birds. Chicken and turkey, whole part, should be stored in the refrigerator with the temperature 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 to 2 days, while in the freezer, it can be stored for 12 months. Chicken in pieces can be stored in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days, while in the freezer, it can be stored for 9 months. Turkey in pieces can be stored in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days, while in freezer it can be stored for 6 months. Duck and goose, whole part, can be stored in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days, while in the freezer it can be stored for 6 months. Wild duck, pheasant, and goose can be stored in refrigerator for 1 to 2 days, while in the freezer it can be stored for 6 months. Cooked poultry dishes can be stored in refrigerator for 2 to 4 days, while canned poultry, opened, can be stored in the refrigerator for 1 day. It is not recommended to refreeze poultry after it has been thawed. Freezing and thawing release fluids called drip, and the chances of bacterial spoilage are increased. Water holding capacity of meat is also affected by subsequent thawing. When thawing, it is advisable to thaw slowly inside the refrigerator to give tissues better chance to rehydrate. Immediately cook the thawed meat since bacterial growth is rapid upon thawing. Slow thawing may be effected by placing the 1 to 2 kg of chicken in the refrigerator for 12 to 24 hours, or to place it under running tap water for 1/2 to 1 hour in their original wrap in both cases. However, frozen poultry or any other market forms of poultry should not be allowed to thaw or soak in a bowl of water because of possible bacterial build. Safety practices in handling and storing poultry and game birds products. How to handle chicken safely. Raw chicken and poultry can carry the Salmonella bacteria, which is responsible for more cases of food poisoning than any other pathogen. Fortunately, it is easy to avoid getting sick from chicken and poultry as long as you follow safe food handling practices. Safe shopping for chicken and poultry. During distribution to retail stores, fresh chicken is kept cold in order to extend its shelf life as well as to prevent bacteria growth. Packages of chicken should feel cold to the touch and should be among the last items you select before checking out. Packages of chicken should be wrapped in plastic bags to prevent leakage into other items in your grocery cart. Safe shopping for poultry and chicken. Once you're home, you should immediately place your chicken in the refrigerator that maintains a temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or colder and use it within 2 days. Otherwise, it should be frozen at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Just like meat, fish, or any animal-based food product, raw or undercooked chicken carries certain bacteria. These bacteria can cause illness in large numbers. Therefore, to avoid illness, we need to limit bacteria's ability to multiply or kill them altogether. Limiting their ability to multiply requires making sure that food products are not left at room temperatures or specifically temperatures between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit for more than an hour. Another concern with respect to working with uncooked poultry is cross-contamination. Cross-contamination can happen when raw poultry or even just its juices somehow come into contact with other food products, but especially ones that are already cooked or ones that will be eaten raw, such as salad vegetables or greens. Fresh versus frozen chicken and poultry. If the label on the raw poultry product bears the term fresh, that indicates that it has never been colder than 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Poultry that has at any time been kept at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or colder must have a label indicating it is frozen or previously frozen. Whatever the case may be, interestingly, poultry that has been kept at temperatures colder than 26 degrees Fahrenheit but warmer than 0 degrees Fahrenheit can be labeled neither fresh nor frozen. Chicken and poultry product dating. Federal regulations don't require poultry products to be dated. However, most retailers will be date the chicken products that they sell. If they do up to date the product, regulations do require that there be a phrase signifying whether the date is a sell-by date or a use before date, and the explanation must be appear right next to the date. Basic for handling food safely. Safe steps in food handling, cooking, and storage are essential to prevent foodborne illness. You can't see, smell, or taste harmful bacteria that may cause illness. In every step of the food presentation, follow the 4 fight-back guidelines to keep food safe. The first one is clean. Wash hands and surfaces often. The second one is separate. Don't cross-contaminate. The third one is cook. cook to proper temperatures, and the last one is chill, refrigerate promptly. The next one is shopping. Purchase refrigerated or frozen items after selecting your non-perishables. Never choose meat or poultry in packaging that is torn or leaking. Do not buy food without expiration dates. In storage, always refrigerate perishable food within 2 hours or 1 hour when the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Check the temperature of your refrigerator and freezer with an appliance thermometer. The refrigerator should be at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, and the freezer at 0 degrees Fahrenheit and below. In storage, cook or freeze fresh poultry, fish, ground meats, and variety of meats within 2 days. Other beef, veal, lamb, or pork within 3 to 5 days. Perishable foods such as meat and poultry should be wrapped securely to maintain the quality and to prevent meat juices from getting into other food. In storage, to maintain quality when freezing meat and poultry in its original package, wrap the package again with foil or plastic wrap that is recommended for the freezer. In general, high-acid canned foods such as tomatoes, grapefruit, and pineapple can be stored on the shelf for 12 to 18 months. Low-acid canned food such as meat, poultry, fish, and most vegetables will be kept 2 to 5 years. If the can remains in good condition and has been stored in the cool, clean, and dried place. Discard cans that are dented, leaking, bulging, or rusted. In preparation, always wash hands with warm water and soap for 20 seconds before and after handling food. Don't cross-contaminate. Keep raw meat, poultry, fish, and their juices away from other food. After cutting raw meats, wash the cutting board, utensils, and countertops with hot soapy water. Cutting boards, utensils, and countertops can be sanitized by using a solution of 1 tablespoon of unscented liquid chlorine bleach in 1 gallon of water. Marinate meat and poultry in a covered dish in the refrigerator. In towing, refrigerator allows slow, safe towing. Make sure towing meat and poultry juices do not drip into other food. The next one is cold water. For faster towing, place food in the leak-proof plastic bag, submerge in the cold tap water, change the water every 30 minutes, and cook immediately after towing. The last one is the microwave. Cook meat and poultry immediately after microwave towing. In cooking, cook all raw poultry, beef, pork, lamb, and veal steaks, chops, and roast to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit as measured with a food thermometer before removing meat from the heat source. For safety and quality, allow meat to rest for at least 3 minutes before carving or consuming. For reasons of personal preference, consumers may choose to cook meat to higher temperatures. In serving, hot food should be held at 140 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer. Cold food should be held at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. When serving food at the buffet, keep food hot with chafing dishes, slow cookers, and warmer trays. Keep food cold by nesting dishes in bowls of ice or use small serving trays and replace them often. Perishable food should not be left out more than 2 hours at room temperature or 1 hour when the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. In leftovers, discard any food left out at room temperature for more than 2 hours or 1 hour if the temperature was above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Place food into shallow containers and immediately put it in the refrigerator or freezer for rapid cooling. Use cooked leftover for 4 days. Reheat leftovers to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. In refreezing, meat and poultry defrosted in the refrigerator may be frozen or refrozen before or after cooking. If thawed by other methods, cook before refreezing. Our topic for lesson 2 is all about evaluating the finished product. Why it is important to evaluate dishes in the menu? The first reason is to check if the dishes meet our restaurant standards for quality. The second one is to detect deviations from our food quality standards. And the last one is to identify ways to improve dish quality. Dishes should be evaluated when, first, it's being developed. The second one, it's being launched. And the last one is periodically during operations. What do we evaluate? Evaluate the characteristics of food as perceived by the five senses: appearances, aroma, taste, textures, and consistency. Define your standards and expectations for each dish and check if the prepared dish matches up. For the appearance, color and color combinations. The second one is sizes and shapes of the ingredients. The third one is the visual attractiveness. The fourth one is the eye appeal. And the last one is the signs of freshness. The smell or aroma such as tangy, herby, earthy, or etc. The taste, the basic sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami tastes. Textures and consistency. The qualities felt with the finger, tongue, palate, or teeth. And temperature, knowing the right temperature to serve dishes such as hot or cold room temperature. The next one is flavor. In flavor, refers to the combination of aroma, textures, temperature, and the taste reacting with saliva. How are finished product evaluated? For colors, texture, and taste evaluations, place sample in clean, uncontaminated containers, and assign code when evaluating more than one sample. Use separate food samples for each evaluator. When evaluating aroma, place sample at least 1 inch from the nose. When evaluating taste, bite off a small portion of the sample and chew slowly. When evaluating more than one dish, spit out the sample after tasting and rinse mouth with tap water. For comparison and ranking purposes, 10 seconds is acceptable for easy recall of the taste. For a single panelist who has to taste several samples, allocate 2 minutes of rest in between to prevent fatigue. To evaluate liquids, take a small sip of the sample and swirl around the tongue before spitting out. When evaluating more than one sample of liquid, rest for 1 minute between samples. We are done on our discussion, so we are now on the assessment part.